Welcome to episode 24 of my Hiking the Continental Divide Trail series, where we trek from Lemhi Pass, Idaho to Anaconda, Montana. We navigate the rollercoaster ridges of the Bitterroot Range, famed now as the backdrop of the TV series Yellowstone's Dutton Ranch. Crossing Chief Joseph Pass, named for the Nez Perce's historic 1877 flight from the US Army, we trace their historic path. We then dive into the stunning Anaconda-Pintler Wilderness, with its glaciated peaks and alpine lakes. Join us for a thrilling hike through the epic terrain and rich history. Bonnie and Kelly's fantastic hospitality continues this morning. The store is like a local meeting place and many locals make their way in for a chat. We have a great breakfast and stock up with a few extra resupply items. Maple is up early and forging on with her sprained ankle. She is going to road walk to Ledor. Seeing as though I got into Tendoy yesterday afternoon, I'm all organised and ready to go. Chip Crusher didn't get in until late, so he's going to stay and get a few things done, such as laundry and organise his resupply box. We'll catch up in a few days in Darby, Montana, no doubt. A gentleman named Rick is heading up onto the divide, so he offers to take me rather than Bonnie making two trips. Rick is on holidays and is touring all the back roads that lead up and over the divide with his Polaris Razor. It looks like a lot of fun. Out of Lemhi Pass I have a 5 mile or 8 kilometre climb. Rick offers to drive me up the hill, but as much as I wouldn't mind, I have to decline so as to maintain my continuous footsteps from Mexico to Canada. This is a look back at Lemhi Pass. You can see the four-way intersection there. And to get to Tendoy, come down this road and follow it all the way down through this valley slash canyon. Where are we going? All the way down here, around there, and then it goes down that through that valley there. So a long way, 13 miles, steep road. Thank God I didn't have to walk up it. Big mountains out there in the background. I've just finished climbing 5 miles or 8 k's, constantly up out of Lemhi Pass. And Lemhi Pass has got some great historical significance. So it's famous for the Lewis and Clark expedition, which was organised by President Roosevelt, and he sent them out to find a path across the Continental Divide and search out the western coast, or the Pacific Ocean as it were. And they got to around this area and were having great difficulty getting through, and they enlisted the help of a French-Canadian trapper named Chaboneau, I think, but more importantly his wife Sacagawea, and she's worth looking up and finding out about. So Lewis and Clark got to around this area, and with the help of Sacagawea they got up over through this area, Lemhi Pass, and found a way across the Continental Divide. So the great story about Sacagawea is she met another Indian chief along the way, a few mountain regions over, and on meeting him they recognised each other as brother and sister. And it turns out Sacagawea was kidnapped by another tribe when she was a child, so they had this chance meeting and reunion. Also at Lemhi Pass there's a spring, which apparently, I should double check this, but I'm pretty sure it's the headwaters for the Columbia River and perhaps even the Missouri up here on the Continental Divide. And that's just from where I got started today, about 1/4 mile away. But the Lewis and Clark expedition started in 1803, and it took them about 3 years to get across the continent. And Jefferson sent them out there to do it before the French or the British claimed the rest of America. So that was what they did, as well as going out to map the area as well. I've just come upon Happy Dancers and All In's truck, which they've parked, and look how good they are. H2O, check the cooler underneath. You got a beer canister to put your trash in, big bottle of water. You got a cooler here. CDT, grab a drink, refill your water, feel free to leave your trash and beer canister. Happy trails, happy dancing all in. How good are they? Let's see what they've put in here. Oh, Gatorade and some cookies. I'm fully loaded coming out of Tendoy, so I don't need anything. But it's just great that you guys are so helpful to other hikers. So good on you, happy dance and all in. One more small piece of history. Tendoy is named after Chief Tendoy, who was the chief of the Lemhi Shoshons from 1863 to 1907. In 1892, Congress voted Tendoy a monthly pension. He was the only Indian chief ever so honoured. On his passing, the Lemhi Herald had this to say: "We must concede him a place among the heroes of the age. From any standpoint, Tendoy was a grand old man with a strong personality and indomitable will. His influence over the tribe was always for good." Next up, I meet Old Meat. This trail name was gifted, so lovingly, I might add, by one of Old Meat's 3 sons. He's hiking the CDT as a retirement gift to himself. For someone called Old Meat, I must say he's looking pretty fit. Here's my view getting towards the end of the day. Got a little lake down there. Still been up on a ridge all day, 20 miles. And just to finish the day, one last big climb up and over that, and I think it's about a mile or 2 down the other side where there's water, and I'll find a camp. There has been no water sources on this 20 mile or 32 kilometre ridgeline walk. So not only do I have a full pack with food, I sent way too much to myself for this segment in my resupply box, but I've also been carrying a full load of water as well. This is what you call the view from the summit. I don't think I need to climb Mount Everest anymore. I think I just did it up this rocky ridge. There are just mountains everywhere, 360 degrees, every which way, way out in the background. I've made it to the water source for tonight, and it always amazes me where water just appears from. And here it is, just coming out of the side of the mountain, and it is beautiful and clean, icy cold, tastes perfect. Sometimes when it comes down through the plants like that, you can get a bit of a taste to it, but it is just crystal clear, tastes beautiful, and just flows down this little valley. We're getting swarmed by mosquitoes at the minute, so I'm keeping going. Here's a spectacular sunrise in the making, and getting a few of these in Montana Just getting to the top of a pass. Had to head into the next valley. Let's have a look. A little patch of snow still hanging in there. Not for long, I assume. The trail is very narrow in sections today. It's carved into the side of the mountain and a slip and tumble down is highly possible should I cease paying attention to my footing. After lots of climbing yesterday and this morning, the trail finally makes its way down off the ridge and I head back into the pine forest. Here I meet another Sobo hiker in flybys. He has hiked the CDT before, but is out doing it again. He must be a sucker for punishment. Editor's note: while I thought this at the time, I'd do the CDT again tomorrow if I could. After yesterday's dry stretch of 20 plus miles, there is now water everywhere in this forest. I'm heading down and out through this valley while staying high on the valley wall. There are lots of little streams coursing down the hillside. The contrast over the last few days is stark. Today is another day in the 30s, that's 90s plus in Fahrenheit, and out of the shade of the trees it is very hot. There is little to no breeze, so that doesn't help either. What does help though is dunking my shirt in the available streams. On a boiling hot day like today, best thing is when you get to a creek, without diving in, throw the shirt and hat in and put it on dripping wet. Very refreshing. It's so hot out here today. I've just dropped over the hill, heading down into this valley or bowl here. I'm not sure roughly where we go, but those mountains in the background, somewhere we've got to get up and over those. There's a saddle to get up and out of here, and I have to get up and over it. There are 4 big climbs this afternoon. Over the second last one, I've now done 39 kilometres in 10 hours. I now drop steeply down for 2 miles, but must rise up the other side for 5. I'm descending into what looks like a huge bowl surrounded by big mountains with snowy peaks. It seems there is only a steep way out on the other side up over a saddle. It's hard to picture where the exit is, but I guess the only way is up. Check all the mosquitoes. There's so much water flowing down from this mountain. They're everywhere. The climb up to the saddle, surprisingly, isn't that bad. It is broken up into sections and it really isn't that steep. A win for the good guys at last. I decide to not go all the way to the top when I reach Rock Island Lake. It's 1.4 miles to the saddle, but it's getting late and there are no obvious campsites down the other side, as opposed to this fantastic spot. How's this for a magic campsite? Just overlooking the lake. The sun has just dipped behind the mountain there. No wonder there's so much water running down. There's still snow across the top of those peaks there. There's lots of trout in this lake too. They're jumping up everywhere. I found an iPhone on the trail today. What to do? I decided to walk back down the trail to the trailhead where I will leave it. Even though the phone is locked, I managed to get the owner's name. I texted Paulie on the satellite device to see if she can find the owner. She does through Facebook, but while I'm heading down to the trailhead, the owner comes riding back up looking for it. His wife lost it when she had a tumble apparently. All's well that ends well. Lying in my tent, every now and then I hear something out there breaking through the trees. I get up to see if I can spot it, but nothing appears. It's probably a deer. At least I hope it's probably a deer and not a bear. It's 10 PM and it's dark out there now, so time to stop typing and get some sleep. For a long time now, since Wyoming really, I've been travelling west. Consequently, the mornings have been getting darker and darker. But this morning it was particularly dark, black almost. I couldn't quite work out why. I thought, perhaps is it just because I'm amongst the pine trees and surrounded by these tall mountains? Anyway, I pack everything up and throw it out of the tent. And just as the tent comes down, so does the rain. There's the reason. Almost to the top. I said it was pretty easy yesterday, and for the most part today it hasn't been too bad, but definitely this last bit up over the saddle, it's making me work. Let's see, are we at the top? I thought I was at the top about 300 or 400 meters ago, only to be disappointed. And yes, we are. There's a view. It's another day of mountain climbing today with saddles and passes to go over. Just as I'm going up over saddle number 2, it gets awfully grey very quickly. The wind has picked up dramatically and the thunder has started. This time I'm able to get up and over and out of harm's way in time. However, down the other side I can't escape the rain. Right on cue, just as I'm going up over saddle number 2 for the morning. It's got awfully grey and the thunder started. I'm off to a slow start. I got up and going early enough, but with 2 big saddles already, the rainstorm that just came through, plus the trail is extremely rocky, I'm making slow going of it all. With the steep uphills and then steep downhills, I can't get any rhythm going. Over pass or saddle number 4, the day continues to be a tough one. Still slow going. I'm barely averaging over 3 kilometers per hour. That's not even 2 miles per hour. Ideally, I would like to be doing 4k per hour, but it's just not possible today. I'm already an hour behind schedule. I'm hoping things will ease off in the afternoon, otherwise it becomes a very long day trying to get 30 miles or 48 k's done. This is Upper Slag-a-Melt Lake. Interesting name. Water is beautiful and green. This is the next new valley. Just come over this pass, got 2 miles downhill, then back up again over the next range. Just had my regular catch up with my favourite Nobo hikers who are hiking the trail Sobo, if you can get your head around that, Solar and Luna. They are going well, although Solar has the same thoughts as me about today's rocky trail. No doubt we'll bump into each other in another 4 or 5 days or so. Well, I am coming out through where I thought we were going to have to come out. But the best thing is the mountains have opened up for me. I hardly had to climb up anything at all. So there's a nice bonus. It's not like the CDT. What's going on? My hopes for better trail conditions this afternoon do not eventuate. It is all rocks and gravel. Over passes and through saddles, the rocks just do not give up. The problem with this is, when I get over the top, there is no reward down the other side. The trail is always uncomfortable to walk on and downright dangerous in places. It's just walking on rocky marbles for too long. I end up constantly walking with the brakes on, which wears me out even more. By the time I have to go back up again, my legs haven't had a rest or a break. Anyway, that's how it is. That's the CDT for you, and so I just carry on. I've just swapped over to the next valley along after walking along that rocky high up edge of a track. Pretty nice view out there. It's late in the day, and being tired of the rocky trail, I look to cut off a bit of a loop. I check the contour map and it doesn't appear to be too bad. So I take a shortcut downhill and start bushwhacking. I've clearly read the map wrong, because no sooner is it too late to turn back than I'm heading down a cliff face through a jungle. Oh well, that'll teach me. As my mate Ratso always says, shortcuts lead to dead ends. After being up on rocky mountain passes for most of the day, dropped down into this valley. It's turned into a little mini jungle. Of course it clears now. How's this great old cabin out here on its own? It has been a tough long day, but in the end I do get to keep pushing on. At the last water source I load up the pack and keep going, trying to get my 30 miles done. I'm heading up through Bradley Gulch, which is steep and overgrown with bushes. I'm looking for a campsite, but there is nothing around here in this terrain. It's not until I get to the top that something appears. I came over this range somewhere, I think more around to the right, then dropped down into this valley, and now been climbing up this gulch. Very steep, long and late into the day. It's now 9 PM and I've been going for 15 hours. That will definitely do. There's no mucking around tonight. It's late enough as it is. In record time, I set the tent and cooked dinner. There is no time to write the journal tonight, so I'll just have to wait until tomorrow. Just as I'm about to go to sleep, something comes crashing through the woods. It sounds like trees are actually getting knocked over. I jump up to see what it is and shine my torch out into the darkness, but it is now galloping off down the hill. At the time I had no idea what this was, but in hindsight this was definitely a bear that stumbled into camp and then took off when it realised I was there. Not a big turnaround time after yesterday's long day, but I feel pretty good this morning. The trail continues up the last bit of yesterday's climb. Over the top I come to Big Hole Pass. This is another spot on the Idaho-Montana border. Again, the water falling in the Salmon National Forest of Idaho flows to the Pacific, while in the Beaverhead National Forest of Montana, it flows all the way across the country to the Atlantic. After spending the day walking on rocks yesterday, so far today I've made a return to nice soft dirt. It doesn't last too long, but at least I had some relief. I come to a mountain and it is another steep one. I can barely get up it. I would hate to be hiking downhill. That would be scarily dangerous. Seriously, over the rocks and gravel, it would be like having some roller skates strapped to your shoes. It is no fun going up, but I can't imagine trying to go down. It looks too treacherous. The next mountain I come to, I'm very happy to find a new trail has been blazed around the side of the mountain as opposed to the old one going straight up and over. Any uphill I can save at this stage, I'm very thankful for. I missed the last water source, but I make it just in time to the next one. The only problem is I have to hike half a kilometre down the hill to get to it. The CDT doesn't give much up for free, but it is beautiful water coming straight out of a pipe from the mountainside. On my way back up, I'm startled by 3 elk coming thundering by, just in front of me. They charge past, galloping off through the forest. What an amazing sight. Back up at the junction, I stop for an early lunch as I don't have a long day today. A bit over 20 miles will see me at the highway where I'll get a hitch into Derby. There's a chance that Golden will be there, so here's hoping. I meet another southbound hiker in Flamingo. With his bright pink pants, it's easy to see where he got his trail name from. So far, he's been hiking the trail in sandals. Can you believe it? I certainly can't. I couldn't imagine anything worse. But he's out here and doing it, so good on him. I get a text from Paulie to say that Chip Crusher has had trouble with his shoes and has had to get off trail and head into the town of Jackson. Apparently the inside heels have blown out after only 160 miles. He's had to do the last 18 in his sandals. He was picking up new shoes in Derby and will get them forwarded to Jackson. So he will be a few days behind me for a while, but hopefully he'll catch up soon. Made it to the Chief Joseph trailhead, and look who we've got here, Golden, the champion. At the trailhead, I'm in luck as the champion Golden is there waiting for us, but it is only me as I inform him of what's happened to Chip Crusher. It's a shame, as if he knew he could have picked up the shoes and raced them down the short drive to Jackson. But I'm lucky as I don't have to worry about finding a hitch. Thanks heaps, Golden. We head into Derby only to find it booked out. Being a Friday, I guess it's understandable. Again, thankfully for Golden, this is not a problem and we continue on to the next town of Hamilton. Hamilton is a much bigger town with more resupply options, so it all works out well in the end. Tomorrow I'll head back out onto the trail in the afternoon. I've got about 100 miles to Anaconda next, so hopefully 3 and a bit days should do it. Today we can take it easy as I don't have to race to get back out on trail. With Golden playing Trail Angel, it takes all the uncertainty out of having to get a hitch. Next door to the hotel is a large grocery store, so I don't need to travel too far to get my resupply done. Again, with Golden kindly playing chauffeur, we go looking for some Spam packets and the breakfast bars I like. I find the bars but strike out on the Spam. Looks like I'll just have to carry the tins on this leg. Today I tried to be clever again, but once again I was too clever by half. I went to cut off a section of trail and headed down the hill bushwhacking across. This time I got caught in a sea of tree blowdowns. There were literally hundreds. It was like trying to find my way through a game of pick-up sticks, except on a much larger scale. Falling backwards, head and shoulders first, off a log from a height of about 4 feet confirms my idiocy. I'm a slow learner, Ratso. Luckily, my pack broke my fall. Nearing 7:30 PM, I decide I'm not going to make it to the next water source tonight, so I set up camp near a road junction. I only have 1 litre of water to make dinner with and get me through the night. I'm very thirsty and could easily drink the whole lot in one go. I've already got a dehydration headache, so it could be a long night. But I've got enough to survive and I'll make it through to Schultz Creek in the morning. I stopped to take a photo. There's a squirrel up there throwing pine cones at me. It's thrown about 5 or 6 already. It's a chilly start to the morning, but was not so cold through the night, as I was nice and toasty in my sleeping bag. I'm heading off through pine forest. A lot of the forest is devastated by what I originally thought was beetle kill, but perhaps it's more the result of fires. The good thing is, there's a great deal of rejuvenation going on, with lots of densely packed young trees growing up in amongst the dead ones. climbing for most of the morning. Occasionally I'd get glimpses out through the trees, but it's been mostly dense forest. I've just come up on a ridge and the views are stunning. The mountains out there are incredible. They still have that blue hue to them. There's just rows and rows of them, just like shark's teeth, one behind the other. No doubt we'll be heading that way. It looks pretty spectacular. Well, this is a nice surprise. This is Surprise Lake. Surprise, surprise. It's beautiful. I'm in the Anaconda-Pintler Wilderness area. It's apparently 158,000 acres, 64 something hectares. But from all reports, it's supposed to be truly spectacular. So we'll wait and see. But here, walking around Surprise Lake, we're off to a pretty good start. The devastation amongst these trees is incredible. Like whole mountainsides, all the way down to that lake, just wiped out. I assume it's all beetle kill. Same as in Colorado and Wyoming. It's come all this way north. More destruction from recent bushfires, which has got me thinking, normally every year hikers run into trouble where they have to skip around areas because of bushfires. But touch wood, fingers crossed, I haven't had any of that trouble this year, so very lucky. I just bumped into Nobody, who is hiking the CDT southbound. We have a great chat, but while he loves taking photographs with his huge DSLR camera strapped to his shoulder, he's camera shy himself. Which is a small pity, as I would love to have shown you the massive revolver. I'm no gun expert, but I think it's a Magnum strapped across his chest. He's certainly not taking any chances with bears. It's late in the day and I'm hoping to get to Johnson Lake, which will make it a 33 or 34 mile day. To do so, I have to get up over Pintler Pass. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time to do it, so I decide to carry enough water that I can camp at the top should I have to. The extra weight doesn't help the going up hills, but this is me getting closer to the top of Pintler Pass. Still got about 600 metres to go. I assume we're going out over that way, where that mountain drops off. Getting to the top now. The question is it the top? Or is there going to be another little kicker? Let's see. Oh, it's a bit breezy up here. Thankfully we don't have to go up there. Last of the sunshine. It's about to drop over the mountain behind us. And more big mountains out in the distance. It's a tough climb and I make it to the top around 8:30 p.m. Now to charge down the other side to get to the lake and camp for the night. I arrive at about 9 p.m. and there is barely any light left. I notice a couple of other tents in the area, so I do my best to get set up and cook dinner while making as little noise as possible. This is not helped by the hard ground and the need to grab a rock to hammer in the tent stakes. It's a big rush as I guzzle down my food in the dark and trust my head torch to run out of battery, always at the worst time. A pretty big one. It's been a huge day. My watch measures 57 kilometres, that's 35 miles, 14 hours and 52 minutes of hiking. Long, but I got there in the end. I'm at a beautiful spot by the lake. It's just that it got dark too quickly for me to enjoy the view. That's okay though, as I'll check it out in the morning. Well, I didn't get to enjoy Johnson Lake very much this morning. It's very cold, so I'm keen to get moving. After coming down from Pintler Pass late last night, I figured the trail would wind around the lake. But no, I'm doing a U-turn and heading straight up the next mountain to Rainbow Pass. Don't even get a warm-up to get these weary bones moving. Tough start to the morning, climbing up this hill, or mountain as it is. Quick look back, not sure where we came over, but probably somewhere over there was Pintler Pass, and then we came down to Johnson Lake where I camped, and then it's been a 2 mile climb up this mountain here, but great views out there in the distance. I've made it to the top of Rainbow Pass, and it is the first of 5 mountains or passes that I'm doing today in the first 23 miles. So there's almost no flat in that 23 miles. It's just up one mountain, down, up the next, down. So it's going to be a fun day. But the other good thing to report is in the Gut Hook app, it's broken down into 5 segments, generally by state: New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, then Idaho/Montana, where it follows the border for so long. And now at Johnson Lake, I'm very happy to report that we're into the last segment. I'm definitely tired this morning, and heading straight up a mountain first thing is not helping. After hiking almost 15 hours yesterday, it doesn't allow enough time for recovery. It's even a battle to keep my eyes open. The cold breeze makes that worse, but I'm sure I'll come good soon. The people who are camped at Johnson Lake are collectively known as the Wonder Women: Annette, Christy and Lynn. They started the CDT on the Colorado-Wyoming border and are hiking north. Then they will flip back down and do the second half Sobo. They catch me at the top of Rainbow Pass. We have a great catch up. They are posting their hike on YouTube if you would like to check them out. I leave the Wonder Women and head off down the pass, and the next hiker I run into is Joe Mummer. He's out section hiking and will complete the CDT over 4 summer breaks. Warren Lawrence, I found your lake. This is Warren Lake in Montana. All the big miles I've been doing lately, I'm much more confident about getting finished in time. So it's looking pretty good now. As long as I can keep up the 30 mile a day average, we should be okay. Between Rainbow Mountain and Cutaway Pass, I travel through the most beautiful forest, rich with life, teeming with water, just so green. It's so nice walking in the shade. Alright, on climb number 3 for the day. It's been slow going, let me tell you. But heading up to Cutaway Pass, it's 3.4 miles ahead. The way I'm going, it's probably going to take a couple of hours. Looks pretty steep. But we'll keep plugging away. Cutaway Pass. Here we are at the top. The sign says Cutaway Pass, Highline Trail number 111, and the Carp Creek Trailhead number 3. Here's the view out this side. Climb wasn't so bad, believe it or not. Lots of switchbacks, so the gradient was okay. Still working hard, but not so bad. I count how hard a trail is by how many times, or a climb is how many times I have to count to 100 to get through the steep bits, and I only had to do that a few times, so not so bad. Time for lunch.
I sit down for lunch, I film the sign and the view, it takes a couple of goes. While getting organised, I'm singing out loud to myself, and then all of a sudden someone calls out from behind me. It scares the you-know-what out of me. Then we both laugh. He comes up into the mountains to get away from the crowd, and he runs into a singing Fruit Loop from Australia. But I enjoy my lunch having a great conversation.
Okay, next climb up for today is up Rainbow Mountain. 3 miles, 5 k's. It's been very slow going today. Oh, that's okay. It's a nice day and I'm enjoying it. Still just a constant up, down, up, down. This is the next up. So take 2. Might help if I head off down the right trail. The one I went down started going uphill and it started going downhill. Took me 300 or 400 meters to realise, hang on a minute, I'm supposed to be going uphill for 5 k's. What's going on? Anyway, lucky I caught it in time. Not too bad.
I'm surprised to run into 2 more Sobo hikers in David and Ben. I figured they must be bringing up the rear of this year's hiker group. Seeing as though it's almost the middle of August, I would think they would need to start and get a move on, or they might get caught in the snow in southern Colorado.
Rainbow Mountain. We made it. Oh, it was toughy. Actually, it was pretty good through the middle, flattened out at that last mile. That was a hard one. Pretty incredible view from up here though. How's these mountains? They're unreal, aren't they? This is the top of the last major climb for the day. Now I'm leaving the official CDT at this junction and I'm heading that way, which looks a bit scary going up over that hill. I thought I was finished climbing for the day, but that looks a worry. You've got to go up and over that, then down, and then up this way to the right is where the CDT goes. Because I'm pressed for time with the visa and whatnot, if I take this Anaconda cut-off alternate, that'll save me quite a few miles, so that's the way I'm heading.
Today's hiking has been either all up or all down, nothing in between. I've climbed up over 5 big mountains and passes. Another long, slow day. At this rate, it's going to be another 15-hour day. At the junction to the Anaconda cut-off alternate, I'm trying to work out which direction to head. All of a sudden, and again out of nowhere, appears Aurora. She is up here in the mountains for 8 to 9 days hiking various trails. From up high, she could see this crazy mountainside traverse where I'm heading and has dropped down to check it out. Aurora is a breath of fresh air for my long and tiring day. We head off together in great conversation across the mountain. The views are incredible, as is the journey across this rocky face. On the other side, my journey continues downward to Storm Lake, while Aurora is heading back up to Upper Seymour Lake. We take a couple of happy snaps and head on our respective directions.
Spectacular sunset at Storm Lake tonight. Time to find a camp and get set up. It's been a mighty long day.
I make it down to Storm Lake, but I have to walk all the way around to the far side to find an area flat enough to camp. Like last night, it is just on dusk and I don't have much light left. There are lots of college students out here having a good time. For me, it's eating dinner in the dark again and then straight to bed. The music is blaring, but that's okay because I've got earplugs and I'm wrecked. A 15-hour day followed by a 14.5-hour day will do that to you. Today I have a little sleep in as I have a relatively short day ahead of me. It's about 23 miles into the town of Anaconda from Storm Lake, so I'm in no rush. The college students are certainly much more subdued this morning.
I wonder what was sleeping here in the grass. Whatever it was pretty big.
I woke up this morning to find 2 spiders crawling around in the tent. I think to myself, how did they get in? Then I notice I haven't fully zipped up the screen netting. It's only by a couple of inches, but enough for them to amazingly find their way in.
This is pretty cool. Little roadside spring water straight from the mountain setup. Lots of people in their cars just come in here and fill up their water bottles. Big containers full. It just flows out of the mountain. On this Anaconda cutoff, it follows Highway 1, which is what I'm on now. And sometimes it's on the highway, other times it crisscrosses over it and follows dirt roads on the side. But on the DJC alternate of the alternate, I just stay on the highway, most direct route, straight into town, get there the fastest.
After 8 hours, I make it into town and the first stop is at the Hofbrau restaurant for a late lunch. Then I'm off to the shipping place to pick up my next pair of shoes. I think this is my 6th pair so far. Probably my last, but you never know. I check into the Grizzly Den Motel, which is nicely situated by the grocery store. When I get to town, the last thing I want to do is more walking around getting chores done. The folks here are really helpful and even allow me to do a load of washing without going down to the laundromat. I'm taking a 0 day here tomorrow. Firstly to rest, relax and recover, but also to give Chip Crusher a day to hopefully help catch up.